I'm Phyllis Hutson. I am Business Administration and Office Management faculty at SAU Tech, and today we will be covering a topic that applies to everyone, and that is time management. I think all of us some days feel like there's just not enough time to get all of our tasks accomplished and do everything that we need to get done, and we have to sometimes divide our time between family, school, work, and that takes a lot of time and effort. And we think about we have 24 hours in a day, and we look around and there's people that get so much done in that time frame, and then we're saying, I can't get much of anything done today. The thing is, they manage their time rather than let the time manage them. Now, one thing we need to look at is like your time inventory. One of the best ways to actually gain control of your time is to look at how you're spending it. You should try logging in how you spend your time. And a lot of times you think, well, how should I do that? Well, you can use a daily planner. You can use a notebook. You can put it on your phone, your computer. There's so many different ways. And you may not find large chunks of time when you can do things, but there are times that there's just small nuggets that you can use each day to get tasks accomplished. And that helps you to get things off of your to-do list. Now, some people, let's say they have children, they have to go pick them up at school, and a lot of times when you are there waiting to get your child, you may be able to bring your laptop, your phone, even if, let's say that you're taking classes, you might have to do a research paper, assignments coming up. You can take that time to actually look over some of this material while you're waiting to pick your child up at school. And that helps to get something accomplished as far as your time management. Now we have to plan, because in order to be successful at time management, planning comes into play. So you have to take the time to think and plan how you're going to get some tasks accomplished. Because if you fail to do this, then you're pretty much planning to fail when it comes to this task. And you have to think about the best time you want to do this. A lot of times people want to get up first thing in the morning and get things accomplished and taken off of their to-do list. Then some people, it may be middle of the day or when before they go to bed at night. That's when they choose a time that works best for them. And that's a good way to plan. Make it a habit each day. Now, you have to make a list. I don't know about other people, but I have many to-do lists. I have one for home, I have one for work, and I have to keep up with that. And you can do it different ways. Like I said, you can have a hard copy of a to-do list, you can have it on a computer, your phone, and a lot of people like to put it on their phone, and that works well. But when I leave for the day, I have my to-do list with me. And I make it an effort each day to take items off of my to-do list and update it each day. Now, you cannot finish everything that's on your to-do list, but if you get a few items off of that helps with your time management. Now, sometimes we also have to take into consideration what takes priority, okay? There's that 80-20 rule. 80% of the reward comes from 20% of the effort. The trick to that is to identify what makes up that 20% that you can accomplish. Now, you can put priorities on your to-do list by taking and put the most important at the top, the least important at the bottom, and that helps. And once you get some of these tasks taken care of, reward yourself. Say, oh, I marked off 5 things off my to-do list today. And that way, do something, go out to eat. Just, the list goes on and on of things that you can do to reward yourself because you've actually taken things off of your to-do list and worked on your management of your time. Now, we'll talk about time wasters. When we think about this, these are things that take up a lot of your time, but you really don't need to do them sometimes. Socializing. So often we socialize. We want to talk to family and friends, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then it becomes a major time waster sometimes because it may not be that important, and you could be doing things toward your time management. Those might take 15 minutes you might use to visit with someone while you could be taking something off of your to-do list. You also have to learn to say no, because a lot of times people will ask you, oh, can you help me with this? Will you do this or that? And sometimes you have to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that today because I have some things I have to get done. And so keep that. You have to be honest, and you have to sometimes say no. Also, watch your interruptions, those unscheduled ones, because a lot of times you'll be getting all those texts, your phone will be ringing, and you're saying, oh, I'm trying to get all this done and I can't because I keep having to talk to someone or text. Put it on Do Not Disturb, because sometimes that's what you have to do to get those tasks accomplished. Then we have to worry about disorganization. Sometimes we are not organized. We lose things. We spend a lot of time trying to find them. Where did I put this? What did I do with it? And that wastes our time. So please stay organized, not disorganized. It helps you to get things done. And then one thing that is, I think, an issue with all of us, we procrastinate. In other words, if we're sitting there and we say, okay, I'm looking at my to-do list today, I've got to do these things, but I really don't want to do those. So I think I'll do some of these that I really want to do first, and then I'll see if I have time to do those that I don't like doing. What you have to keep in mind, this is a problem, and it is for many, many people. We take those unpleasant tasks, we put them off till later, we have that intention of doing them, but a lot of times that leads to missed deadlines. Let's say if you're trying to take a class and you say, oh, I'd rather work on this class and these assignments than that class. That class I don't like as well. You've got to do both. You can't put off things that you say, I do not like to do this. And a lot of times, just think about this. You may not want to do that task you don't like all at once. You might want to take 15 minutes of your time and say, I'm going to get this much of it done. Sometimes you can finish it, but at least that's that much that you finish up and get off your to-do list. Now, these are some of the major issues and things that you can do with time management. Now, with these things in mind, let's do a brief review of what we've just been over. And this is how well you manage your time. And keep in mind, you can think about these as I say them. Do I do that often? Sometimes? Never? Now, do you hold planning sessions with yourself every day to draft your next day to-do list? Because that is important. Do you tackle the biggest, most important task first? Do you finish all the things on your daily to-do list? That's something to think about too. And do you meet your deadlines and have plenty of time to spare? That's very important. Think about, am I well organized? And can I find things that I need quickly? I don't have to search for them. And you know when and how to cut short, unexpected interruptions, such as a drop-in visitor, a phone call, a text, things like that. And if you have interruptions, are you able to just say, okay, I'm going to get right back to work and get this done? That's important. And can you distinguish between the unimportant and the important things? And you know when to say no. And most of all, when you do get things off your to-do list, when you do your time management, reward yourself. Do you do that? Because once you start doing that and you go into that reward mode, you'll tend to want to finish some things more and say, okay, it's time for me to get a reward. Now, I hope that this has helped you some about time management, because this has covered some of the most important points. So take this all under consideration. It is something that you cannot do overnight. You have to start planning and organizing and getting ready to do it. But just keep in mind, you can be successful at time management. Thank you.